Welcome, Mr. President. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Assalamu alaikum, and I believe all of us had a wonderful prayer this afternoon. May the Almighty Allah accept our prayers. I am very much delighted to welcome you to the launching of the revamped Member Country Partnership Strategy, the MCPS, and the Country Engagement Framework of the ISDB Group. The MCPS and CEF are the ISDB's group flagship instrument for medium-term and long-term strategic engagement with member countries. And today's event will focus on 4 great nations that are proud members of our beloved institution. The Republic of Niger in West Africa, the Islamic Republic of Pakistan in South Asia, the Cooperative Republic of Guyana in South America, and the Republic of Uzbekistan in Asia. These strategic engagements we're talking about drive the ISDB's group programming and operations with the concerned member countries in alignment with the ISDB's strategy for 2023 to 2025. On this momentous occasion, we are privileged to have with us this afternoon His Excellency the President and Chairman of the ISDB Group, the distinguished governors and delegations from our member countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I promise you, the program is going to be snappy this afternoon, but very, very enriching. Therefore, it is very important also to note that the presence of His Excellency the President here this afternoon signifies his unwavering commitment to supporting revamping strategic partnership in our member countries. Therefore, I would like to invite His Excellency the President of the Islamic Development Bank and Chairman of the ISDB Group, Dr. Mohammed Al-Jasser, to deliver his opening statement. Your Excellency.
How are you? Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim was-salatu.
In the name of God, that all prayer be on the most honorable of messengers and prophets, Prophet Muhammad, his kinsmen and his people, and all those who have followed him until the day of eternity.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First, I would like to welcome you all to this timely event to raise awareness of the importance of strategic country engagement in developing impactful projects and programs for our member countries. Throughout 2022, the bank has developed 7 member country partnership strategies, the highest in a year in the bank's history. These MCPSs were for the Maldives, Indonesia, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Guinea, Niger, and Senegal. Meanwhile, the bank is targeting another 6 MCPSs this year. The revival of the member country partnership strategy as the key instrument for the bank's strategic programming is one of the vivid examples of the ISDB's group's commitment to development grounded on member countries' priorities as laid out in their national development plans. While 2022 marked its revival, in 2023, the bank has focused on making the MCPS more implementation-focused, capitalizing on partnership with our development partners. Ladies and gentlemen, the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent economic and political crises in Eastern Europe and our member countries have significantly impacted the progress toward economic growth and sustainable development. For example, we have seen a regression in poverty alleviation, in access to nutrition, in health services, and in education, as well as heightened climate change impact and increased inequalities. These setbacks have been more pronounced in the least developed countries and regions affected by the conflicts, widening the developmental divide between the global north and south. The UN says that 120 million people fell into extreme poverty in 2020 alone, reversing years of progress in poverty alleviation. According to the International Labour Organization, 25 million jobs were lost in 2020, and 23 million jobs were at risk in 2021. According to UNESCO, the pandemic has also pushed an additional 37 million children out of school. The disruption in education could have long-lasting effects on future employment opportunities. Our member countries already face structural challenges from poor governance, lack of diversification, dwindling investments in tradable sectors, debt mismanagement, weak institutions, and low base infrastructure. Moreover, COVID-19, the Eastern European conflict, natural disasters, and emerging political conflicts have aggravated these structural issues. Against this backdrop, the Islamic Development Bank has developed a new member country partnership strategy that effectively addresses the various developmental challenges facing our member countries while reducing the most binding constraints. In doing so, the MCPS's key thrust is to address the critical factors in achieving sustainable development, which is structural transformation toward higher growth trajectories driven by the national priorities of our member countries. Another key feature of the revamped MCPS is to ensure group synergy, to bring together the strength of all the entities of the Islamic Development Bank Group, namely the ICD, the ITFC, the ISEC, and the ISFD, and the ISDB Institute for more effective engagement. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, the success of the MCPS is contingent upon effective partnership between the Islamic Development Bank, its member countries, and the partners we work with. Implementation is where the rubber hits the road. The implementation is our responsibility as much as that of our member countries and development partners. Hence, our ownership of the MCPS is critical to its success. We have instituted the MCPS as the precursor to a strategic, programmatic, and solution-centric exercise that generates programs and projects which will help maximize development impact. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to build back better and create a more sustainable and equitable future for all. So let us continue to invest in the future and the well-being of all people and the planet. Let us continue to build partnerships and collaborations across sectors and regions to achieve our common goals. Together, we can achieve impactful partnerships leading to economic diversification and sustainable development. As we move forward, we must reevaluate our development approaches and formulate innovative and inclusive national and global socioeconomic policies that can accelerate recovery while reducing inequalities and boosting sustainability toward our SDGs of 2030. We must prioritize partnerships and work collaboratively to ensure no one is left behind. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency, please, for such a reassuring statement. It's very important that no one is going to be left behind. Thank you. Thank you very much. It's my pleasure now to invite His Excellency Dr. Haboud Rabiou, who is the ISDB Governor for Niger, to join His Excellency at the podium for the launch of the Member Country Partnership Strategy for Niger and the signing of the MCPS Memorandum of Understanding. Your Excellency, you're welcome. You're welcome.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
In the name of God Almighty, the Compassionate.
Excellencies, will kindly ask that you stand up for a very great handshake and the launch of the report. We would like to ask the legal department of the protocol to present the report for the official launch. Your Excellency, kindly, that's the MCPS report for the Republic of Niger. Ladies and gentlemen, the report has been officially launched by His Excellency, the President and Chairman of the ISDB and the Governor of Niger. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We will now proceed with the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding for the Country Engagement Framework for Pakistan. I am pleased to invite His Excellency Sadr Ayaz Sadiq, the ISDB Governor for Pakistan, to join His Excellency at the podium for the signing. Your Excellency, you're welcome. His Excellency, the ISDB Governor for Pakistan, has joined the Chairman of the Islamic Development Bank Group for the signing of the Memorandum of Understanding for the Country Engagement Framework for Pakistan.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Excellency, may I kindly ask that you stand up for a handshake and exchange of the MOU signed. Thank you, Excellencies. The third signing this afternoon is for a memorandum of understanding for the country engagement framework for Guyana. I am pleased to invite His Excellency Dr. Ashni Singh, the ISDB alternate governor, to join His Excellency at the podium for the signing. His Excellency, the alternate governor, has joined the chairman of the ISDB group for the signing of the MOU.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Finally, for this session, we will proceed with the launch of the Member Country Partnership Strategy for Uzbekistan. I am pleased to invite His Excellency Yulekbek Yunusov, the ISDB Acting Alternate Governor for Uzbekistan, to join Your Excellency, the President of the ISDB and Chairman of the ISDB Group, at the podium for this launch. The Acting Alternate Governor for Uzbekistan. The launch of the Member Country Partnership Strategy for Uzbekistan is going to be done by HE, the chairman of the ISDB Group, and the alternate governor. Thank you very much, Excellencies. At this point, I want to sincerely thank you, Excellencies, the President and Governors, for participating in this all-important launching ceremony. Also, a big thank you to my colleagues in the technical teams and organizing committees for a job well done. Thank you, Excellencies. We kindly... Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being part of this. We are going to move on to the next session of signing ceremony, a very important one that the strong team have been working seriously to ensure that we have a great signing ceremony here this afternoon. We are going to move on to the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund project signing event. Let me welcome all of you again to this great event. It is very great because this is taking place during the 48th annual meetings of the Islamic Development Bank Group, hosted here at this magnificent conference center in our beautiful host city of Jeddah. We are incredibly privileged and pleased to have in our midst a galaxy of esteemed eminent personalities, governors, honorable ministers, and government delegations of member countries and heads of public and private sector agencies during this conference. Permit me to welcome again or recognize the presence of His Excellency H.A. the Chairman of the Islamic Development Bank Group, Dr. Mohammed Al-Jasser, and the Chairperson of and also the Secretary General of the OIC. Can we take our seat as we welcome His Excellency the OIC Secretary General? Can we take our seats, members of public, please? Thank you very much. Welcome again, Excellencies, to this very important meeting. Today's event signifies an excellent, very excellent milestone achievement and commitment to supporting our beloved people of Afghanistan. Your Excellency, when I listened to some of the questions posed to you yesterday during the opening press conference, I thought this event will serve as an excellent opportunity to answer those critical questions about why we exist as ISDB and what we do. Therefore, I'll mention keenly that this event will entail two key segments: a brief statement from a few of our eminent personalities here this afternoon, and the actual signing of the agreements, and we will wrap up this event with a group photo from the partners and also the ISDB delegation. I'll not bore you with speeches, long speeches at all, because we are going to get exactly from the eminent personalities here present. So I'll now respectfully invite again for the second time to this podium His Excellency and the following key personalities for a quick statement. The first statement will be delivered by the ISDB Group Chairman, Dr. Mohammed Al-Jasser. I kindly and respectfully invite Your Excellency for your statement.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أفضل الأنبياء والمرسلين.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, most compassionate, prayers and salutations be upon His Prophet and His companions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. The extraordinary session of the Council of Foreign Ministers of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, in Islamabad on December 19, 2021, requested the Islamic Development Bank to establish, operationalize, and manage the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund. The objective is to channel humanitarian assistance and basic needs to the people of Afghanistan. Today, with the signing of the first batch of implementation partner agreements, we celebrate the dedication and hard work put into these pilot operations. The signing of these agreements is a testament to a most effective and collaborative team effort. Furthermore, these agreements signify a true partnership to fend off crises. I take this opportunity to thank the OIC for its leadership in mobilizing resources and connecting with countries and the international community. I thank the esteemed government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for taking the lead and contributing generously $30 million to the fund through King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center and the Saudi Fund for Development. I also thank the government of Algeria and Malaysia for their contributions, as well as the governments of Kuwait, Nigeria, and Turkey for their generous pledges. We look forward to receiving more contributions to the fund from member countries and other providers. I also thank the technical teams of both the King Salman Relief and the fund for the collaborative spirit, the Saudi Fund, for the collaborative spirit in finalizing the 7 projects. I also thank our partners, the Aga Khan Foundation, the Danish Committee for Aid to Afghanistan Refugees, the International Medical Corps, the International Organization for Migration, the United Nations Children Fund, UNICEF, and World Food Programme, the WFP, for formulating and customizing the projects to focus on the critical priorities of the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund. These projects will help create livelihood opportunities to promote self-reliance and will provide basic maternal and child health care in remote rural communities. Address the issue of waterborne diseases, including cholera, by provisioning clean water through the construction of solar-powered water systems. And finally, provide life-saving nutrition services to children and in-kind food to the most vulnerable and poor. We have also initiated work on the formulation of the next batch of projects, which will be funded through the generous contributions of the Saudi Fund for Development. I reiterate the ISDB and the AHTF continued commitment to work closely with our partners and the international community to fully synchronize all efforts to ensure we collectively deliver sustainable support to Afghanistan, fostering resilience and self-reliance. Thank you very much for your attention. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. We appreciate your presence here. Thank you for such a wonderful statement. We'll now listen to, and I have the pleasure to invite His Excellency, the Secretary General of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, OIC, for his statement.
In the name of Allah, Excellency Dr. Mohammed Sulaiman Al Jasser, President, Chairman of the ISDB Group, Excellency Mr. Sultan Al Murshid, Executive Director of the Development Saudi Fund, Excellency Dr. Fahd Al Husseini, Head of Department of Emergency Relief. Ladies and gentlemen, honorable invitees and guests, Assalamu alaikum. I have the great pleasure to participate in this ceremony to sign the implementation of a number of projects in the framework of the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund between the Islamic Development Bank and to with a number of partners and agencies of implementation. This is a moment where we participate and that could not happen without the continuous efforts deployed by the ISDB in collaboration and in coordination with the Secretary General of the Islamic OIC. I would like to commend the excellent work that is being deployed under the leadership of His Excellency Mr. Mohammed Al Jasser, Chairman of the ISDB, and his team, as well as the collaboration between the bank and the General Secretariat of the OIC. I should also take advantage of this opportunity to commend the efforts of His Royal Majesty King Al Saud and Crown Prince Mohammed. May Allah preserve him and guards him in his efforts that are granted to favoring Afghanistan through the Center for Humanitarian Assistance, and I would like to express my appreciation and gratitude to the contributions granted and provided by all other countries. I would like also to commend the Center of King Salman that collaborated with the Office of the OIC in Kabul to distribute the food baskets and for the coordination with the Afghani Red Cross in Kabul. And for the bank that supported the initiatives and the humanitarian programs in Afghanistan. Undoubtedly, the signing of the agreement for the implementation of a specific humanitarian trust fund is a tangible reflection of the efforts deployed in Afghanistan and that requires the financial contribution from the part of the member countries. From this perspective, my special envoy and myself are following up on the communication with the member countries to pursue the coordination in the framework of the humanitarian assistance granted to Afghanistan. I would like to refer to the commitment of the OIC during the meeting in January 2023 concerning Afghanistan in order to send a mission from the OIC and the concerned authorities in order to assess the needs of the country, especially for the implementation of small projects in the country. And we are awaiting the initiative of the ISDB to send this mission at its earliest possible timing in order to materialize the efforts of the bank in this regard. In conclusion, I would like to reiterate our commitment according to the resolutions of the Foreign Ministers' extraordinary session for the development of Afghanistan, based on a constructive dialogue on other issues concerning this decision. Thank you all for your kind attention, and Assalamu alaikum.
Very much, Your Excellency, for such a great commitment and partnership with the ISDB to ensure that we ameliorate the suffering of our people. It's now my pleasure to invite His Excellency, the Supervisor General, King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center, Case Relief, for his statement.
In the name of Allah, most gracious and compassionate, peace and salutations be upon Prophet Muhammad. Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. At the outset, I have the pleasure to convey these greetings of the Master of the Office of King Sulaiman Humanitarian Aid, and the ISDB and the Center of King Sulaiman Humanitarian Center are actually engaging in a number of projects, and I have the pleasure to be here on behalf of the supervisor to celebrate the signing of ceremonies between the ISDB and some international and other organizations in collaboration with the King Sulaiman Humanitarian Aid, with the contribution of $10 million for the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund, as this assistance provided by the center will contribute to the alleviation of the situation in Afghanistan to be implemented by the bank. In conclusion, the King Sulaiman Humanitarian Aid Center is looking forward for achieving the objectives planned for this fund in Afghanistan. Assalamu alaikum.
For such a wonderful statement. We'll have the final comments this afternoon on the segment from His Excellency, the Chief Executive Officer, Saudi Fund for Development, SFD.
In the name of Allah, most gracious, peace and salutations be upon and prayers be upon His Prophet. Ladies and gentlemen, Excellencies, Assalamu alaikum. I have the pleasure today to take part to the signing ceremony of projects for the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund in collaboration with the UN agencies and other organizations with the aim of funding development projects in Afghanistan. These agreements are a tangible contribution to strengthen the development frameworks in order to achieve inclusive development. Ladies and gentlemen, these agreements come under the contribution provided by Kingdom of Saudi Arabia last year that were at the rate of $80 million to support the Humanitarian Trust Fund for Afghanistan in complementing the efforts of the Saudi Arabia and its pioneer role in order to alleviate the suffering of the Afghani people and to mitigate the pressure on the humanitarian situation in Afghanistan. And this is in line with the previous efforts provided through the SFD that have provided 5 concessionary loans in the previous 5 years, and this is in line with the assistance strategy of the kingdom in order to achieve sustainable development. In conclusion, I hope that these agreements would be means to finance the attainment of prosperity and humanitarian development in Afghanistan.
Now to proceed, we will proceed to the signing of the project agreement 7 to be signed. And the first agreement will focus on constructing family health houses in remote rural areas in Afghanistan. The signing will be done with the International Organization for Migration, IOM, one of the implementing partners dominated by KS Relief. I now invite Engineer Mohammed Jamal Al-Sati, Special Advisor to the ISDB President, and Mr. Uthman Belwasi, the IOM Regional Director for MENA, to proceed for the signing. Just to mention that this project is slightly above $2 million. It aims at providing essential reproductive, maternal, neonatal, child, and adolescent health services in remote rural areas in Afghanistan with an implementation period of 6 months. The project will provide safe, clean drinking water for about over 13,000 beneficiaries. Thank you very much. The second project will, Engineer Al-Sati, kindly take your seat again, please. The second project will provide life-saving nutrition services to vulnerable children in Kandahar province. This agreement will be signed and implemented by the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, for 6 months. I now invite the representative of UNICEF to join Engineer Al-Sati, the Special Advisor to His Excellency the President, ISDB, to proceed with the signing. The successful implementation of this project will provide essential nutrition, life-saving services through health facility and supply of ready-to-do therapeutic food for 18,372 children aged 6 to 59 months. The project is also aligned with Sustainable Development Goal 2, end hunger and ensure access by all people, particularly people experiencing poverty and in vulnerable situation. Thank you very much. Please continue to be with us because the next project is also going to be signed by UNICEF, which is the third one this afternoon. It will focus on climate resilient and sustainable water supply services for remote rural communities in Afghanistan. Your Excellency, kindly be with us for the signing of the next agreement. As I mentioned, the third agreement will focus on climate resilient and sustainable water supply services for remote rural communities in Afghanistan. This project will also be implemented by UNICEF. It is a $2 million project that will provide safe, clean drinking water to 32,000 beneficiaries in remote rural areas, including establishing and training 16 water user communities. Indeed, one more time. Thank you, Excellencies, for signing of this project. We'll move on to the fourth project, which will be signed by the Aga Foundation UK. It is primarily for the sustainable and inclusive transformation of agrarian economies in rural Afghanistan. The project aims to ensure that households graduate from poverty by optimally utilizing tailored and targeted technical and financial support. I kindly request Dr. Matt Tirid, the Director of Institutional Partnership of AKF, to join Engineer Al-Sati for the signing of the ceremony, signing of the project. It is important to note that when this one-year project, if completed successfully, it will provide the construction of 70 greenhouses, support 160 backyard orchard and kitchen gardens, facilitate the breeding of cows, goats, and sheep for 115 families, establish 230 poultry farms, and provide 168 certified vocational training for youth and women. Thank you very much. The next project signing will actually focus on the provision of improved WASH, that is water, sanitation, and hygiene, to conflict and natural disaster affected targeted population in Paktika province. It is slightly over $1 million project to be implemented in 1 year by the International Medical Corps, the IMC. Therefore, I humbly invite to the podium Dr. Uns Akadra, who is the Director of MENA and GCC Affairs, for the signing ceremony. The project we are about to sign aims at providing emergency wash services for areas with the highest needs in Paktika province, which includes safe drinking water with improved quality and quantity, establishing and training water user communities, promoting safe hygiene practices, and training water users. The project will undertake sanitation campaigns, construct 7 solar-powered pipe schemes, provide 2,016 water kits for water collection. Thank you. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thanks so much. Just a second, we'll give you an original copy.
The sixth project to be signed this afternoon. The sixth project to be signed this afternoon is the Afghanistan Humanitarian Trust Fund grant financing for sustainable access to safe drinking water for underserved communities in Kabul, Nangarhar, and Faryab, and Kunduz provinces. It is a $1.8 million project to be implemented in 1 year by the Danish Committee for Aid to Afghan Refugees, DACAR. One of the biggest WASH providers in Afghanistan. I am pleased to invite Mr. John Palmos, who is the director for the organization, to join Engineer Al-Sati for the signing. This project will provide safe drinking water to about 13,300 beneficiaries in remote rural areas, including the capacity building of those beneficiaries in wash praxis and water management infrastructure. Our final signing ceremony this afternoon will provide life-saving food assistance in areas of severe food insecurity to enhance food security in Afghanistan. This project will be signed with and implemented by the World Food Programme, WFP. It aims to protect vulnerable people from falling below acceptable levels of food security and bridge critical food gaps during the lean period. Mr. Asyurweli, who is the WFP Afghanistan representative and country director, has joined Engineer Mohammed Jamil Al-Sati to sign this project. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Having witnessed the last signing, I want to at this stage, I want to kindly respectfully ask all the partners to join our eminent personalities right in front of here for a group photo that will symbolize the great support and commitment to this project and our beloved people in Afghanistan. As we continue with the group photo, let me also use this opportunity to say thank you very much to the technical teams and the organizing team for this wonderful, very great job in putting up documents together and the signing process. And our colleagues also have been working behind the scenes to ensure that we have a successful signing program throughout this period. But it's very important to also mention that we are grateful to you, Engineer Al-Sati, and your team for a job well done. And to my colleague Rafif and her colleagues who have been working on all the agreements since the start of the annual meetings. And also to the acting director, the manager, and staff of the communications department, I say thank you very much for putting this great work together. Thank you. May God bless you all. Thank you.